Okay. What's up, my dude? This intro to beta 1 of the final of basically the original the end. But since I'm on the end too, because this game's been finished and I don't want there to be too many versions before the final version, I don't want there's millions of versions. I hate when that happens. At least I fixed it later on. I hate how that happens. Why does that have to keep happening? Honestly, the only way I can seem to probably fix it is literally change history of the game. It might break it, but it feels better and has something that was introduced later on was Pitten. But now there's gonna be this. Now I need to make that part broken. But you understand the point, guys. But now, the end. 2 R1 compared to the original game's R1, you might see a huge difference. This is the size of the map, and this is the N2's map. You can see a huge difference already. Also, there's a rocket ship that you can't access right now because it's still in development. It's going to be interesting in, like, the pre-releases probably, because I tweaked a little and tested those. Came about a very unusual dog secret message. I'm checking those away because I can feel them later. But now that there's better terrain, and guys, I can now start to work on the trees. Yay! So basically, trees just have a plain white texture finally instead of missing texture, which is way better than what was there before. And also, let me add some missing texture to the water. It's kind of funny because now you can't tell where the water is because it's all missing texture. Yay, this is my favorite game because the water is missing texture. Yay! Today we are going to be devlogging. So basically this is R1 complete. Usually R2s have way more content or less content. But I'm packing a lot into it because I have experience. Now I can start working on R2. Basically in R2, it adds a simple texture for most things. And also water can have its nothing texture again. What texture it is. Oh yeah, I got an overlay invisible. Bam. I'm gonna need to test what invisible means. That's not invisible. I didn't mean the texture invisible. Let me just choose metal. This. I guess that's better than nothing. I need to give it I'm just gonna give it the water texture I made a long time ago instead. At least that's better. Also, everything's gonna share an old texture made by me again. Basically, it's just gonna be the same as the last game with textures, by the way, because I don't have textures made. So now I'm gonna use the original textures for, like, everything. Because this is an early version, and in most early games, everything just shares its old texture if it's a sequel game, because that's usually what happens. But with this version, we're just gonna be doing this. I'm just adding simple textures to everything, and bam. See you guys next time. Bye bye.